Let's create a tombstone-inspired headpiece and chest ornament. The first thing I did was buy a skull replica, and I took off the removable bottom jaw and used this nifty measurement tool to measure the side of it so I can start building my barrier because I want to make a silicone mold of this. I took an empty cereal box and set the tool on top to trace the shape to cut it out. Once I cut out the shape, I checked it to make sure that it would fit the skull correctly. I then repeated the process for the other side, the top, and the bottom. It was all put together and sealed with hot glue, and the toothpicks were for added support. I got an old box and stuffed it with some of my salon towels for added support and to keep it level for when I go into putting the silicone on top. I used this goldfish container to build the cage around it because I knew it was going to be high enough, but also very sturdy on its own for the silicone process. The silicone I'm going to be using is a part A, part B 1:1 ratio by Nick Pro. All right, and this is where I had to come back and redo this whole process because I didn't seal every little nook and cranny, and I had to go in with some clay to make sure that it wouldn't leak through this time. So for anybody that's trying this, make sure your edges are sealed because silicone will find any hole, any gap, anything, and just run. But at the end of the day, I got that thing done, and I officially have a silicone mold of a realistic skull. I repeated that same process to make this silicone mold of some wood onlays. Now using my hot glue, I went ahead and made me a replica of that, and I started to cover it with my heavy black gesso by Finnabar. With my created silicone molds completed, it was time for me to start building my vision. I'm going to work on my headpiece first. I created this frame out of wire and EVA foam. I started to go in creating the pieces I want using my Finnabar mold, my self-made mold, and then molds that I also got from Amazon. Then began the fun part of layering everything out until I was happy with the structure. Then it was time to paint. I am currently covering it with the black heavy gesso from Finnabar. To bring out all that detail and give it that tombstone coloring, I went in with the white pearl and then old silver by Finnabar. Next was just adding the finishing touches and then moving on to the chest piece. Once I was happy with everything, I went in and covered it with the heavy black gesso, the white pearl and old silver Finnabar metallic waxes, and added the little accessories. I then last minute created this cute little lantern using my Finnabar molds and then covering it to match everything else. And with all that process done, my graveyard fairy was complete. Happy Black Fae Day!